Is this not why you are here?
Hello and welcome everybody to Ryan'sDrunk.com. I am, of course, Ryan am Drunk.comness me. I am your humble drunkard from afar, and right now I feel like talking about this whole controversy, things happening, world things. Recently there's been claims of bias by DC fans. I am largely a DC fan. I am the Batman-serbator, yada yada. There's been claims that reviewers are skewing the favor towards Marvel rather than DC. With the debacle that was Batman v Superman, it's a little hard to argue some critics. I mean, yes, the movie is flawed, very flawed, but it's also pretty goddamn good. Again, it's far from the best, but it's very far from the worst movie ever, Batman v Superman. And yet, it's got, what, 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, 69% from fans now. And already, the media's at work and being like, oh my god, Civil War's the best thing to ever happen to Civil and War Captain America. And obviously, Captain America Civil War is going to be a gigantic success. I mean, hell, I had to be there on the premiere night myself, you know. And thanks to one dude vaping, it was a horrible experience, but be that as it may. But since critics are already just gushing themselves over how awesome Civil War is, Captain America's Civil War things, it's kind of hard to deny that there's some sort of bias. But then, if you open your mind to that line of thinking, you obviously go down the wormhole of conspiracies, which many people have gone down. At least one person in particular who shall remain nameless. She's been kind of on the bandwagon. Really the biggest trumpeter of the whole thing. Number one, no. The conspiracy theory is Marvel, Disney, paying off media critics, reviewers, people, screen junkies. Are they paying them off to trash DC? No. No, of course not. That is the dumbest thing ever. Marvel wants DC to be good. Why? They want DC to be a success. Why? Because so long as there is a demand for superhero movies, Marvel is also going to be a beneficiary of having people loving superhero movies. So of course, if DC is pumping out great superhero movies, Marvel is going to benefit from it as well. But I do think that there is a definite bias. As far as mainstream-ish type media is concerned, there's only been 2 times. I mean, there's plenty of bloggers, vloggers, etc. that say this, but as far as mainstream reviewers, critics, such are concerned, I've only heard this twice. This movie is why the general audience is tired of superhero movies. I've only heard that with Green Lantern and Batman v Superman. I'm sure people have said it, possibly, hell, they probably said it for Fan 4 Stick. You know, and again, there's, you know, plenty of bloggers, vloggers, hell, IHE Alex says it plenty, I'm sure, or is now saying it anyways. But with all the movies that Marvel has shat out of their ass since 2008, it's DC's that are the reason why we are sick of superhero movies? Green Lantern, while it's not a perfect film and that dude is way too screamy with a big head, it was still a perfectly fine origin story. Oh, we're sick of origin stories. Marvel has never ever done an origin story. Is there a bias? Yeah, I think there is. Is that bias malicious in any sort of way? I don't think so. I mean, hell, critics shat them or spewed themselves all over The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Rises, not so much. Do I think that there's a malicious intent? I mean, possibly. It's not in the Donald Trump realm of, hey, Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK, tinfoil hat nonsense. It's nowhere near there. You know, Disney is paying reviewers to trash DC. It's not there. That's not it at all. There is a bias. It's plain as day. Biases. Hell, man. Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 currently has a 79% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Iron Man fucking 3. I don't know, there's really no point to this. I don't know. There's definitely a bias. I don't know why. There just is. Guardians of the Galaxy is probably my least favorite Marvel movie, but it's one of the highest rated, most critically acclaimed. But then again, I'm not a fan of like space fantasy. I don't care about Star Wars. Then again, I love Mass Effect. Anyways, I don't know. It's whatever. I'm a mixed bag. Stuff things. Doesn't matter. Bottom line, there is no giant conspiracy. Disney, Marvel, nobody is paying reviewers. They're not sending them to red carpets just in order for them to trash DC movies. But there is a media bias. Just like there is a media bias, a mainstream media bias as far as politics are concerned. The mainstream media tends to favor Democrats. That's a known fact. It is now a known fact that the mainstream media tends to favor Marvel movies. That's just a known fact now. So, as far as both of those situations go, I guess we just have to deal with it. I mean, if you're politically minded as I am, you just deal with it. It's whatever. The thing is that you've got to make up your own mind. And I've been saying this about Batman v Superman since the beginning. If you're somewhat curious about the movie, you're like, maybe I should see it, maybe. I don't know, everyone says it sucks, so maybe I shouldn't. Go see it. Make up your own damn mind. Be an individual. But whatever. Stuff, things, words. I am your humble drunkard from afar. We'll see you next time. And recently there has been claims of bias in the media, reviewers, such stuffs, things, words, about... Fuck it! That's a Mean Gene Orkelin reference.